Yeah, all right, you saw the leftist establishment media absolutely losing their minds with the news of Donald Trump's guilty verdict this week, praising the justice system, gloating over the outcome, basically celebrating and saying, democracy, it's overwhelming.
But to break it all down and talk about this a little more and some of the latest headlines, that do make you say, what is it?
Are you kidding me?
All right, we now have in the studio with us the former managing editor of Forbes magazine, media strategist and host of the What's Bugging Me podcast, Dennis Neal, as well as political analyst Whitley Yates. Thank you both for joining us today. Dennis, are these media outlets just further emphasizing the bias surrounding the trial in your opinion?
One of the very few good things, Sarah, about the Trump verdict is that it gets the media to bare their claws and show their talons and show just how vicious and Trump-hating they really are, and they certainly are showing that. We now live in two utterly different universes. I watched a lot of the coverage on a lot of the networks, and I took notes, and my gosh, I feel like this Trump verdict is one of the worst things to happen in American politics and American history. It's unfair. It's unjust. It ought to be overturned. It will be overturned. And at the same time, you look on the other networks. Oh, no one's above the law. The rule of law has won. This is such a great, great case of American justice system. How can two universes be so utterly opposite in looking at the same exact thing?
Whitley, maybe some of these people like Whoopi Goldberg shouldn't celebrate too soon because after what just happened to Robert De Niro, the National Association of Broadcasters revoked the Service to America Award they were going to give him because of his appearance with the Biden campaign saying they're proudly bipartisan. So, what's your reaction to that?
The fact that the left has been losing their minds because they knew that they were going to lose the election and now they want to hooray in the streets over this verdict is benign. It is crazy to me because the truth of the matter is what they don't understand is that they have ignited a movement. There is a momentum around the Trump campaign and his presidency, unprecedented, greater than it's ever been. And that's not just from people who were already going to support him and his base. They have now ignited independents who feel like this is just a miscarriage of justice, that you're utilizing, the criminal justice system to persecute political enemies. And it's not about criminal conduct. It's about the identity of the candidate and it's about the political party. And so the fact that they're celebrating is crazy and asinine because the truth of the matter is they're still losing and they will lose in November. And that's the real verdict everyone should be waiting for.
That's a great point, Whitley. And I think all those donations that came in kind of prove your point.
Dennis, what's your opinion on Robert De Niro?
Oh, De Niro, man, that guy, where's he getting his Democrat talking points? He acts like if Trump gets elected, he'll never leave office. He left office once before already.
It's insane.
And he's just a total fake. And you begin to wonder, do you have a personal stake in this? Is there something that's going to come out if Trump's elected about your own life? You got to wonder about it. And as for what's coming up on What's Bugging Me, can I just tell you, I've got the great constitutional lawyer Alan Dershowitz coming on my podcast to talk about the Trump case. He says it's the weakest case in his 60 years of practicing law. He says, furthermore, it will be overturned on appeal, but by the federal courts, not New York. And lastly, he says, at his own great personal cost, Larry David of Curb Your Enthusiasm confronted Alan Dershowitz to say, you're disgusting, I'm never speaking to you again, all because he defended Trump. And that's the kind of nation we got right now.
Whitley, very quickly, 30 seconds to you. Wrap it up for us. I'm concerned for our entire system of justice. The people the fact that they're celebrating scares me even more.
I think that we should be scared when you have the American people that are celebrating such a miscarriage of justice, but we should also get excited because the momentum behind the Trump campaign is unstoppable and there will be a win in November. And so through all the trials and tribulations that the left is throwing, they will still be leftists that lose.
Very well said. Thank you so much.
Lose.
Right, I like it. All right, Dennis Neal, your podcast, What's Bugging Me? You're having Alan Dershowitz on your next podcast. It's on Ricochet, Spotify, iTunes. Anyone that wants to see it can find it just about anywhere. Dennis Neal, Whitley Yates, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.